4th grade. We are ready for language lesson 161. Let's start this morning with talking about what it means to have our subjects and verbs agree. So what does it mean when our subjects and verbs agree? It means that if we have a plural subject, we also have a plural verb. If we have a singular subject, we have a singular verb. But how can we tell if our verbs are singular or plural? Now remember, our subjects, if they are plural, they often end in S, like dogs. If they are singular, they often do not end in S, like dog. Our verbs are the opposite. If they are plural, they usually do not end in S. And if they are singular, they usually do end in S. So keep that in mind. Now we talked about our troublesome words that like sit and set that we tend to get confused. So let's go over those again. What does the word sit mean? Sit and its other forms. Sitting, sat, and have sat. What do those mean? Those mean to rest or be seated. Now, what about the word set? The word set and its other forms, setting, set, and have set. What do they mean? They mean to put or place something. Now, what about our words lie and lay? The word lie and its other forms, lying, lay, and have lain, what do they mean? They mean to rest or recline. Now, what about lay and its other forms, laying, laid, and have laid? What do those mean? Those mean to put or place something. Now, let's go over adjectives and adverbs. It's been a while since we've reviewed this in class. So what is an adjective? An adjective is a word that describes or modifies a noun or a pronoun. Now, what questions does an adjective answer? If you're describing the desk, what questions are you answering when you're describing it? Which one? What kind? How much? How many? And whose? Now, what about for adverbs? What is an adverb? Adverbs are also describing words, but they're describing verbs, adjectives, and other adverbs. Now, what questions do adverbs answer? If you're saying something about, you're describing how a person walked, I just said one of the questions. How? And more are when, where, how often, and to what extent. Those are the questions that adverbs answer. Okay, our lesson today, we're talking about using there, and there correctly. So on page 249 in your lesson, please follow along. We have the three forms of there. We have there, and there. They all sound exactly the same, but they are spelled differently. Now, the first one, there, is a possessive pronoun. It has no apostrophe. It's a possessive pronoun showing ownership, and it's used as an adjective before a noun. So you could say, their dog is cuddly. It's possessive. Their is saying they own their dog. Now the second form of there is a contraction, has an apostrophe, and it stands for they are. So to test if you should use the contraction, you can read it as they are. So there is a contraction for they are. An example would be, they're the friendliest people in town. They are the friendliest people in town. That sounds good. So you can use the contraction there in that sentence. The next one, there, is an introductory word or an adverb telling where. So you could say, there is no school for the rest of the year. It's just an introductory word to the sentence. There is no school for the rest of the year, that type of thing. It's just, yeah, introduces the sentence. The sentence in our book says there is no school on Monday, but it wouldn't even make sense to use that because we already know that, right? So that's why I used my own sentence. The next form, an adverb telling where, an example would be, I have never been there. So you can say, I have never been there. It's just saying where you haven't been, so it's just a word telling where, okay? That's another way you can use there. So I have a few sentences here yet that I'm going to read them, and you think about which form of there you would want. Would you want this form, or this form? Okay, think about it, choose one from here, and then I will tell you, and we'll see if you are correct. There are 4 cows in the pasture. Do you want the possessive form, the contraction, they are 4 cows in the pasture, or the introductory word or adverb telling where? Which one of those do you want to use? You should have chosen this form of there. It's just an introductory word telling that there are 4 cows in the pasture. Now, Samuel and Sarah quickly obeyed their teacher. Which form of there would you want in that sentence? The possessive, the contraction, or the introductory word or adverb? It is the possessive form because Samuel and Sarah quickly obeyed their teacher. It's like they own, like it's like their teacher, that type of thing. Now, last one. They're coming over after school today. Which form of there would you want in that sentence? Possessive, contraction, they, or there, as an introductory word or an adverb. Try the contraction. They are coming over after school today. Does that sound right? Yes. So that works in that sentence. Now, on this page, on page 249, you will need to fill in blanks. Think A, think B. Remember in think B to underline the error and write the correct word in the blank. Make sure you get that word underlined. Let's just take a bit to look on page 248. Remember C is for today. So make sure you get that done as well. Okay, so turn over the next part of our lesson on page 250 using 2, 2, and 2. So how can we use these words correctly? To with to is a preposition. An example would be, Dad drove us to church. To, T-O-O, is an adverb. An example would be, this coat is too big. It's answering how big it is. This coat is too big. The next form, TWO, is a number used as a noun or an adjective. For example, I dialed a 2 instead of a 4. That's a noun. It's just a number. It's functioning as a thing in that sentence. I dialed a 2. Or as an adjective, I have $2. That's saying how many dollars you have. $2. Okay? Now, I'm going to read 3 sentences again, and you choose a form of to from the board that you think should be used, that you think is used in that sentence. So first of all, your ticket will cost $2. Preposition, adverb, or a number used as a noun or an adjective. In this sentence, it is a number used as an adjective. It's saying how many dollars it will cost. Next, Dan ate too many brownies yesterday. Which form is that being used there? There it is the adverb. It's saying how many brownies he ate. He ate too many. Or not exactly how many, how much would probably be the better question to say that it answers. He ate too many brownies. How much did he eat? Too many. We will go to church on Sunday. Which form of to is being used there? That's not correct either, right? Not for right now. We will go to church on Sunday. There it is a preposition. To, because it has object church. We will go to church on Sunday. Okay, so think about which one you need to use, which is the correct in all of the sentences you're working with. Remember in Think B to underline the errors and write the correct word in the blank. Work Think A as well. So page 249, page 250, and remember C on page 248. Today, you also get to give your oral book report. Now that you are finished writing your book report and you wrote your note card yesterday, hopefully, now today, you need to give your oral book report to your family. Whoever's around at the time, or you can wait until everyone is there, and go ahead, stand in front of your family and tell them about your book. If you have any questions, let me know. Work your lesson carefully and have a good rest of your day.